Welcome to the Olivia Gamber podcast, a place where you unlock your maximum potential while living aligned. Here we dive deep into strategies, stories, and insights that will evolve and expand your mind and spirit. If you're ready to live an exceptional life, then I encourage you to stay committed to this transformational journey and be sure to tune in every week.
Welcome back to another episode of the Olivia Gamber podcast, where we're all about not only breaking through financially with your career, with your business, but also doing so while aligned. And alignment is key. Alignment to your values, alignment to what really matters to you. And that evolves as we evolve as leaders. And so I really want to talk about a very powerful topic of rejection, because rejection is one of those things that robs so many people of their goals and dreams, because rejection is the path to any amazing breakthrough, whether it's with your business, with your career, with your health, with a relationship, all of it. And so the power of transforming rejection into power and changing the meaning that we make of those events and changing our beliefs around rejection is absolutely groundbreaking. And I know this because I've gone through so many rejections, taking thousands of calls to build my business over the last decade. And so these are belief systems and mindset hacks that I'm going to share with you today that are going to make you so resilient, so unstoppable, and so powerful. And it's really important to understand that leaders do more. They put in more activity. They don't internalize rejection. They don't internalize other people's judgments. And they don't internalize all the emotions that can cloud our vision and our judgment. And so one of the three biggest fears that I see keep high potential leaders and business owners from really breaking through is, first, it's fear of failure. This is a perfectionist pattern. If I can't see the whole staircase, I'm not going to do it. Well, of course you can't see the whole staircase. You've never done it. So why would you expect that? And if you're only going to go after what you've already done, you're not going to be evolving or breaking through. So fear is actually valuable energy. It means you're doing something new. Because if you don't feel any fear, then you're not pushing your boundaries, you're not growing. And if you're not evolving, you're dying. So fear of just failure is the number one. Then there's fear of judgment. What will they think? If I put myself out there, what will they think? First off, we need to remind ourselves most people are extremely busy. They don't have time to think about us. In fact, our fear of judgment is all our own projections onto everybody else. Most people are not thinking about you anywhere near as much as you think they are. And so your perception creates that reality, and it keeps you from really taking those actions because of that fear of judgment and fear of rejection. And then the third is fear of not being enough. What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not ready? These are the perfectionist patterns as well, type A patterns, right? Getting ready to get ready to get ready. And we talked about that in last week's episode with those mindset lessons. But it's important to bring up these fears, because these three buckets of fears: fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, not being worthy, fear of judgment. Those are the top three fears that really make rejection paralyzing for people. When they get a couple rejections early on with a new goal, a lot of people quit because they didn't have the conviction. They didn't have the conviction and they didn't have the commitment. And so the committed always find a way because they just keep showing up. They're willing to go through 50 no's to get the huge breakthrough. And they're willing to put the reps in. They're willing to build the skill of selling, marketing. They're willing to just get their hands dirty and push through, right? The ego doesn't want us to be seen as a beginner. The ego doesn't want us to be seen getting our hands dirty. The ego doesn't want us to be seen failing or trying. The ego wants perfection. The ego wants absolute clarity. And the ego is the number one killer of business and relationships. So if you can't start to tame the fears of the ego, you're going to really slow down your evolution and your career growth and your willingness to make bets on yourself, invest in yourself, always trust yourself. The ego isn't ready to trust what it can't see. Well, if you can only trust what you've done, like I said, that's extremely limiting. So now let's get into this mindset lesson about rejection. And I really want to dissect this topic because I know personally speaking, on my journey, not only growing my career and rapidly climbing, through the corporate ranks, but then also building and scaling two companies now, two multi-seven figure per year companies, and all, doing all of this at an early age. It's got me to rapidly evolve because now I know rejection is the path to success. And I know that rejection is just part of the game. And I understand that. But if you're not someone that's built a business or you're not a sales professional, you haven't built that conviction in yourself and been tested, you're going to face resistance if you're going through a journey that requires you to go through more rejection than you're used to. So it's so important to build up those beliefs so you have the frame and the mindset that's ready to overcome the resistance that rejection is going to bring. So first, let's get into the meanings that I hear over and over again. High achieving professionals subscribe meaning to rejection because especially if you're not getting feedback, you just get a no. Well, you don't know why. So what does that leave you with? It leaves you with your own thoughts. And these thoughts repeat and they create beliefs. So your belief is simply a thought that's been repeated over and over again. And so at Career Evolved, what we do with our clients and why we leave such huge breakthroughs is because we're able to help people reprogram their belief systems. Because you've got to have a belief system and strong conviction in those beliefs that aligns with your goals. Because your belief determines 95% of your decision. And the problem with that is, we're not even conscious of most of our beliefs. They're under the surface. They're operating in the subconscious mind. And so that's why I'm here to shed light on these things because half of you listening aren't even all in on your own goals. You're just hoping you can maybe do it. And you're not committed. It's happening. I'm committed. Here's the date. That's a decision. That's when you know you're all in. But it's that fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of not enough that keeps people from fully committing to their goals. So that's because when they do get rejected, these thoughts come up on autopilot. And I see them over and over again. First, when you get rejected, I'm not enough. Maybe I'm not qualified enough. Maybe I'm not good enough at selling. Maybe I don't feel enough or worthy as I am today. There's another thought. There's not enough opportunity. There's too many people. There's too much competition. Those are thoughts of scarcity. And so I'm not enough. Any focus on lack, limitation, or not enough is a scarcity energy. And you cannot create abundance of opportunity for yourself from a mental state of scarcity. And so when you're starting to get into these thoughts of scarcity and you continue to get rejections, even a few, it could easily take you down to the mindset of, well, maybe I should settle. Maybe I should just go get a job. Or maybe I should lower my price. Or maybe I am charging too much, so I'm going to just discount it every time. And or the other thought, then it goes even further to where you start to internalize the rejection. And it can really wear you down and you start to think, what's wrong with me? Am I broken? Is the best behind me? Am I too old? Is it too late for me? Are they ever going to see me? Are they ever going to see my value? What am I doing wrong? And so here's the deal. And this is classic Tony Robbins. If you want to change your life, change the questions that you ask. And listen, I've been there where I'm going through it, I'm hustling, and I'm like, what is going on? Well, that's not a very empowering question, right? So if we start to change these questions to where's the opportunity, start to shift the focal point to solutions, not what's going wrong. What's going wrong? What's not happening? That's scarcity. What's possible here? What did I miss? Start to shift the question, and then you get to evolve with the process and you get 1% better every time you get a no, right? Most people are so pissed off when they get a no, they don't even lean in and ask a question or get curious, ask for feedback, and because they're just so tired of the cycle, right? And it's all being fed by also how they're showing up with their mindset. And so the next shift I want you to focus on is subscribing new meanings to rejection. And I'm going to give you 6 of my favorite, and I'm going to speak to each of them. These are ones I personally use in the moment to reframe, refocus myself, and leverage that no for my next breakthrough. So the first one is rejection is redirection. Half the time we're so focused on getting to yes that we're forgetting the fact that we get to choose too. And what's really meant for us and really aligned, it's really hard to mess that up because it's just so lined up, right? And so when we're stuck in the pattern of getting to yes and convincing everybody, we miss the forest from the trees that this wasn't even a fit for what we want. And maybe it's way beneath us, or maybe it's just not aligned with our values. It doesn't make sense. So why are we trying to force ourselves into a box that we don't fit in? So that's important. Rejection is a gift. Sometimes it's a gift from the universe. It's redirecting you to what's more aligned to you and your values and where you're at right now, rather than just continuing to try to go down a path that sometimes the universe is speaking to you loudly and we don't want to listen. And the message is only going to get louder and louder until you adapt. The next meaning of rejection, I say this all the time, and it's rejection is God building the muscle to build my dream. Rejection is God building the muscle to build my dream. When I remind myself this is part of the game and I celebrate the process, I celebrate the mastery and the strength building to become and the journey of really achieving this goal and challenging myself to really build myself up and to get that next breakthrough. That's when I remind myself I love this because I know I can get this done because I'm committed and I'm going to keep showing up until I bust it open. Most people don't have the commitment and conviction. So if here's something to remind yourself, and I said this, I believe, on last week's episode, the advice from my mentor, who is a total rock star, his name's Jeff, and you're going to meet him later on the podcast. But he told me it's very simple. 80% of success is just showing up. But most people just don't do that, right? And it's the brilliant leaders that are brilliant at the basics, and leaders do more. And what keeps people from the activity needed to break through is all these fears, all these limiting beliefs that we're talking about here. So the next meaning I love rejection is protection. Sometimes it's a gift that things didn't work out. And I'm sure as you're sitting here thinking, there's so many instances in your life, in your business, in your career where things didn't work out like you thought they were going to. They didn't work out on your timeline, but it worked out even better because you weren't trying to force it. You weren't trying to strong arm it. You weren't so attached to it being a certain type of way. And this is something I say a lot too, but it's God's plan is better than our plan. God's plan is better than our plan. And when you have that kind of trust and faith, you stop trying to micromanage the process. Like I said, when you're on a new journey, something that you have not achieved yet, you're not going to see the full staircase. And this is what's kind of scary for people is because when I can't see the staircase, my brain goes into overdrive because your conscious mind needs to feel safe. And if I can't see it, it creates a fear, a fight or flight response in the brain. So that's why having these beliefs and self trust and changing the fears around rejection and failure is so life changing because new decision, new identity, new decision, new identity. The speed of your decisions is the speed of your growth, but the fear of rejection, fear of judgment, and all these fears is what slows people down and they don't move. They don't even show up. So then the next one is rejection is not right now. That's conviction, right? Okay, you want this, just not right now. Got it. That's a win. You can't control the timing of everything. That's out of your control. What we do control is what we focus on, our energy, what we're focusing on, and what we control is our effort, our activity. The rest is completely out of our hands. So the biggest thing I see with those highly driven, intense top 1%ers, top 10%ers, top performers, they're just wanting to control everything. And they get obsessed with all the uncontrollables. When are they going to get back to me? What's going on here? That's out of your control. What is in your control is once you've done what you can, you must move on to the next. And so stop being so attached to one thing and continue to execute your process to create that abundance is going to be critical. The next one, rejection is opportunity to build more conviction. Listen, I lead a sales team and I am very highly skilled at selling high ticket business solutions, transformational coaching programs. And what I've learned is the stronger belief always wins. So, a lot of times when you're getting rejection, that's because you don't have enough conviction. You don't have enough confidence. And what most people are buying is certainty. And when you don't have that certainty in yourself, rejection is going to shred you. Because that brings me to my last point here. Rejection is the beginning of the conversation. Anyone that's a skilled salesperson or a closer that knows how to get it done, get deals done, they know rejection is just the start. Most people go, okay, bye, I'll talk to you later, keep in touch. No, this is where you lean in. Oh, I'm interesting. What did I miss? I'm curious. You know, what would what would make this work for you? Help me understand. What did I miss? Because I thought we had it all lined up here. So there's opportunity. Rejection is opportunity for evolution. Rejection is opportunity to evolve your message, your mindset, your positioning, how you're showing up, your target audience, your everything. And so many people do not even get past the first no because they don't have the resilience, they don't have the mindset. And that's what we're here to do at Career Evolved. So, whether you're building your business and you want to get more clients, You want to get that off the ground, but you're sitting on the sidelines, or you're in your career and you're playing it small, you're playing it safe, you're not really going all in like you know you could because you're in your head and you're getting ready to get ready, then I want to encourage you to really go all in. And if you're not already working with us, I would encourage you to consider scheduling a free 1 hour breakthrough call. And this is a 1 hour session for us to get to know you. What are your blocks? What are your issues? And determine one, can we help? And if we can, great. We'll we'll make you an offer. If not, you'll still leave with clarity and value. We're really here to help empower and uplift leaders to really get more intentional with their career, with their business, and get that alignment because alignment is like rocket fuel. And so if you enjoyed this episode, you found value, please share it. Make sure to subscribe because we're really taking an intentional approach to turn these episodes into absolutely transformational mindset workshops where you're going to get stories, insights, and even really help you reprogram your subconscious mind for success and for growth. And so that's what I'm here to do. It's been a pleasure, and I hope your 2025 is off to a great start. I'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to the Olivia Gamber podcast, your hub for transformation to unlock your maximum potential while living aligned. Remember, it's not just about dreaming, it's about doing. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, share it with someone who needs it, and keep showing up for yourself. Until next time, stay bold, stay brilliant, and in alignment with who you really are.